Prime Minister hosts dinner to end celebrations. Head of State calls for change in attitude. And Morobe beef up police presence.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Seah.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for Friday's news. Celebrations to mark 46 years of nationhood ended with a dinner hosted by Prime Minister James Morobe at Parliament House last night. Government ministers, departmental heads and development partners all gathered to celebrate and reflect on the country's achievement as a nation 46 years on.
The Prime Minister's Independence Dinner was held at the Parliament House. Government ministers, departmental heads and development partners all attended the event to end their Independence Day celebrations. The night began with the national anthem by the Carita Secondary School students and the police band. Followed by entertainment from the Queen of Paradise Orchestra as the Prime Minister welcomed the dignitaries.
And for me as Prime Minister on behalf of our country to pay acknowledgement to few classes of our corporate residents and our important partners who are residents with us here in as far as development of our country is concerned.
The Prime Minister's Independence Dinner is an annual event held on Independence Evening since 2019, and it is a time of celebration, networking and reflection on their journey as a nation 46 years on. The Prime Minister urged development partners to continue their partnership with PNG going forward.
And thank you to come again this evening to associate yourself in this very wonderful evening in which we can sit down and maybe the few minutes of word I have up front could point yourselves in as far as what we have been retrospectively, but more importantly, where we are going into the future so that all of you can be on the same page with us as we move forward.
PM Morobe further thanked all hardworking public servants who have continued to serve the country since independence. He also thanked the hardworking members of the Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary, Correctional Services and the PNG Defence Force.
To all our hardworking policemen and policewomen, and also two sister law and other agency of forces we have in our country, especially CIS, who work to assist police, and of course our defense force for your presence in our country.
The Prime Minister also reflects on the challenges the country has faced as a nation. These include the Bougainville conflict 20 years after independence and the current population growth and economic challenges.
On an average, our growth in as far as the economy is concerned has not been on par with the population growth. That brings to us enormous challenges, especially in the challenge to house a new baby born into our country, school a new child who is emerging, or provide for medical care to a growing population.
The Independence Dinner ended with fireworks, which signifies 46 years of nationhood. Rayon Lakingu National, EMTV News.
Despite dull weather yesterday, over 1,000 lay residents showed up at the Sir Ignatius Kilage Outdoor Stadium to celebrate independence. This coincided with the passing out parade of the first intake of Morobe police reservists. At the Papua New Guinea University of Technology, thousands more joined the celebration with a colourful display of traditional sing-sing and attires in the streets. Various communities in Lae also hosted smaller celebrations. Lae's West Papua community joined in celebrating Papua New Guinea's 46th independence at the PNG University of Technology yesterday. John Lanta, a leader of the community and staff member of the university, said their culture is slowly dying because they've been away from home for many years. He said West Papuans who live abroad, especially in PNG, are so thankful and honoured to be invited to special events, especially Independence Day for PNG, because his people have been fighting for independence for 52 22 years and are still waiting. Mr. Lanta's parents fled from West Papua in 1967 and settled in Papua New Guinea in 1969. This is a story similar to that of many other West Papuans who have now made Papua New Guinea home. While congratulating Papua New Guinea on 46 years of independence, Mr. Lanta said he hopes that one day the West Papuans' dream of independence becomes a reality. Head of State and Governor-General Grand Chief Sebob Dadai urged the people of Madang to unite and change their attitude. His 46th independence message was clear: development and services will be achieved if people begin to respect each other. The Governor-General addressed hundreds to the Laiwaden Oval in Madang yesterday.
Day 3 of his visit to Madang, the Governor-General and Lady Emmeline were escorted to the Laiwaden Oval to join hundreds who gathered for the 46th independence celebration. He was received by the disciplinary forces and Madang Governor Peter Yama. The head of state was given a guard of honor before inspection. After a minute of silence to remember founding father late Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare, Governor Yama spoke of the pathway to improve service delivery in Madang. He also thanked the Governor-General for his commitment to spend independence with his people.
Today, our plan can heavy stop, but we don't belong top. Kobe came stop, Kobe came na SME, our can heavy problem people they face in the country. Or can problem you make out in the country, loan order. Or big problem you make out when you mean to go to today. In all same time, people got little money. Now, Papa blow me, you want them. Former Prime Minister and the late Papa Blom explanation. And we walk on them all. Now this black hand leader Blom, me Blom, Madang, you miss Sabe. Today only no staff. But only staff on them late Papa Blom explanation, lo narpla place, lo ground.
Then it was over to the head of state to address the people of Madang and Papua New Guinea. Sir Bob said the country is going through one of its perilous times given the pandemic issues like lawlessness and economic woes. Among his talking points, he called for unity among the people.
You may look in. Can heavy. It will come inside. One blow, big blow, heavy. People blow Papua New Guinea. This blow, passing blow, like him, not a blow, other blow. Passing blow, you may stop one time. This law, Emino is stop.
He also paid tribute to late Grand Chief Sir Michael Thomas Somare. Sir Bob said late Sir Michael had a vision, and that is to unite people. He said people must start respecting the rule of law.
All line blown Highlands, all line blown Nambis na Highlands, and Bungim Yumi one time. And that is a dream where Emmy achieved him long time long end. Eventually, on the 16th of September 1975, Yumi Papua New Guinea come up independent. Yumi stand up long strong blow Yumi yet. Long leaders blow this black country. Yumi can make him decision, now set him course. Long country blow me by move on some one end.
The Governor-General then declared the 46th independence celebration in Madang. Hundreds packed the Laiwaden Oval in their PNG colors to embrace the day. Jack Lapava Jr., National EMTV News, Madang.
It has been an experience of a lifetime for the 51 children of the Queen of Paradise Orchestra. Today they returned to Vanimo after performing in the week-long independence celebrations in Port Moresby. Loretta Pango, a guardian who accompanied the children, said after seeing Port Moresby and especially UPNG where the children were accommodated in the past week, it has motivated them to go back home and study hard in order to return to Port Moresby one day for work or to attend UPNG. Team leader Father Miguel de la Cal was overwhelmed with joy and gratitude of the support showed to the children. EMTV News will bring to you a special report on the Queen of Paradise Orchestra on the 26th of September. His message was simple: stop all the violence and put God first. Sir Peter Lus, the last living forefather, wants Papua New Guineans to enjoy the freedom of a great nation, as all the battles to gain independence had already been overcome by them.
Born on the 16th of September 1936, it was a fitting gesture as the Sepiks got together in Maprik town to celebrate independence and the life of Sir Peter Lus on his birthday. Because of his legacy, the independence celebration in East Sepik province was brought to Sir Peter's hometown. Hundreds of people from both the East and West Sepik flocked into Maprik to witness the event. Mixed emotions flooded the crowd on Independence Day as Sir Peter Lus arrived. He was then given the honors to inspect the 2nd Royal Pacific Islands Regiment parade, closely escorted by East Sepik Governor Alan Bird, Maprik MP and Agriculture Minister John Simon, and the commanding officer of 2R PIR, Lieutenant Colonel Stephen Serum. Sir Peter was then escorted to the stage to join his wife, who sat patiently waiting for her husband. While everyone was delighted of his presence, it reminded them of the Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare. The Prime Minister, who also joined the celebrations, led a minute of silence to remember Sir Michael.
Yemi, Wasim Kundu, Wasim Pangali Fly, Nogara Wanamapista Rosin Cat. And on this occasion, Yemi Tingim all probably me, Namably me. Number one man, you meeting him, Somare, Sir Peter Lus, all this all probably me, Mama, all this start ECC, Godan, Mila Gimme, Papua New Guinea, taking time, 30 seconds to 1 minute to give respect to the fathers and mothers of our country, represented by Lady Sana Lus and Sir Peter Lus up front. Why don't you all join me in a little bit of moment of respect to our seniors who went before us.
Thank you, Lord, time for you. Lord, dream for you. Lord, when I'm thinking you got, now looks however you. Now you've been fighting strong in middle of masters in independence. Lord Islam, fight for you in our house. Thank you for that.
From all the long speeches, this is his short and simple message.
What about Maski? Did you know God? Did you know upon me? Did you know what you don't fight about, losing fight about. Did you know God? Yes. Now did you know you brought Papua New Guinea? Yes. You brought that, you give me the bedding, you give me the government, and you brought us all.
In 1964, Sir Peter won the seat of Wasara and Rekike in the first elections of the House of Assembly. Sir Peter has been openly acknowledged by the Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare many times as the person who encouraged him to join politics, having faith and confidence in him to lead PNG into independence. Shamin Poreambeb, National EMTV News.
You're watching National EMTV News. We'll have more stories after these messages. Stay with us. Welcome back. The first batch of Morobe police reservists passed out yesterday after completing 3 months of training. Under the Memorandum of Understanding between the Morobe Provincial Government and the RPNGC, 500 police officers will be trained within the next 5 years. Governor Ginton Sanu said this is to ensure security is beefed up and law and order is maintained as projects and developments take place in the province.
The Morobe police reservists were led into the Ser Ignatius Kilage Outdoor Stadium by the RPNGC police band. They marched onto the field and were then inspected by the Morobe Governor Ginsen Saonu. These 100 officers are the first batch of Morobe police reservists who passed out yesterday.
The focus is on young people, especially Morobians, both male and females.
These reservists started training 3 months ago at the Police Tactical Training School at Gusap. This was through a memorandum of understanding signed between the Morobe provincial government and the RPNGC to train 500 police officers for the province over the next 5 years. Morobe Governor Ginsen Saunu said with the projects and developments taking place in the province, it is important to beef up security to maintain law and order.
In itself complements the Morobe Kundu Vision 2048 in addressing security issues affecting developments in the province, targeting the rural communities in 9 districts, including Leh Metropolitan City.
While the police reservists pass-out program coincided with the city's independence celebrations, various communities in Leh hosted smaller events to commemorate PNG's 46th independence. Lucy Kopana, National EMTV News, Leh.
Over 20 participants from Momase region graduated with certificates after completing 2 weeks of SME trainers workshop in Leh. The workshop was organized by the SMAC Corporation, a government statutory authority under the Department of Trade and Industry. SMAC is working with all provincial, district and LLG officers to reach the government goal of training over 6 million SME trainers by 2026.
A 2 weeks workshop on SMEs ended last week in Leh with a graduation ceremony of 26 participants from Momase region who are now certified to carry out trainings on SME in their respective provinces. The Trainer of Trainers workshop was organized by the SME Corporation, a government statutory authority under the Department of Trade and Industry. Present during the ceremony was SMAC Director Petrus Ralda. He said SMAC has a new board in place that had done a couple of reforms, including the review of the 2016 SME policy and the SME Master Plan 2016 to 2030.
The board and management made a decision that we have to change the strategies, change the way we do things. From a supply-driven, from more speed-driven program, now we want to change the bottom-up strategy where we start our programs from the ward level up. So this is the program to start with. We have to train the trainers that will implement that program starting from the ward level.
The SME Trainer of Trainers program was rolled out through all provinces starting in New Guinea Islands region with 52 trained, Highlands region 58 and Momase 26, followed by Southern in October. SME Corporation is working with all provincial governments, district development authorities and LLG officers to reach the target of over 6 million SME trainers by 2026.
It's a very simple, more practical approach and teaching people from agriculture sector, all our people in the community level, we will start it from the ward level up. And then all we need is the support from the DDAs, the provincial administrations. We have to work together on this.
As per the government's budget, it gives about 15 million each year to each electorate for members to run all the programs. The component for SME, we need them to come and work with us, partner with us, to serve the people. After the day, we're trying to serve the same people that they're representing.
Also present during the training were NGOs including World Vision, representatives from Department of Agriculture and Livestock in Madang Province, and officers from the Commerce Divisions of Momase.
The government policy has come that no certification of financial literacy unless SME Corp has certified. So with this TOT training, which MIPLA or Well Vision NGOs, now we are eligible now to certify them. So once all cities like certificate, these 21 groups, members, all sim certificate now, like, almost I think I'm going to sustainability program now, you see, commerce is in. So commerce now, like, time also in this financial literacy certificate to bank. NDB bank won't reject because it's one of the requirements. But at the moment, they are still informal. They are still informal. Meaning all activities below is like, formal activities like they just sell boy daka and all this noodles, tin fish on the street.
Director of DAL Medang, Godfried Savi, said such capacity building on SME should be embraced from the LLG wards right up to the national level.
As an administrator in the agriculture sector in Medang province, I'd like to extend that on behalf of 90% of Medang population to our leaders. We are putting money at the wrong place. We need to support such SME cluster groups right at the lower level where you see the agencies and the private sector, NGOs, we are mobilizing farmers and people at the community level, ward-based level approach. And we have seen development, but we cannot pursue further because the environment is not conducive, and that is where we need your help. Make him this policy become a reality when our 90% of our population are participating in.
Julie Badui, OA, National EMTV News, Leh.
Tombil TVET Center was upgraded to Jiwaka Technical College recently. Education Minister Jimmy Ugoro says this is to create pathways for vocational schools in the country to be elevated, with students upgrading their level of education as well. The visit by the education team to Jiwaka province has also seen the launching of the Teachers Alesco payroll.
The upgrading of TVET Center is a pathway for Education Department to upgrade the base level of all the schools from elementary to secondary and TVET centers in PNG. The base level of teachers, tutors and inspectors in all the schools and TVET centers will also be increased, and teachers will undergo further training to upgrade their skills and improve the quality of education.
We ask him two department for me, education department, higher education, low work, but work smart, work easy. Now only one section, so one sector, from department or teachers colleges, easy, go along outside, long higher education.
Education Secretary Dr. Uke Kombra said while the base level of teachers' positions and salaries would be upgraded, teachers must be in the classroom from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. to ensure all lessons are covered. The rolling out of the Alesco payroll system to Jiwaka province recently and 19 other provinces is to ensure that teachers' salary issues are taken care of at the provincial level. This is to allow the teachers to be in the classroom while the school head teacher check on behalf of them.
Only maths, science, subject content. And more teacher. Suppose teacher number qualification and quality education will go down.
Teachers Services Commission Chairman Samson Wangiome said TSC is the only entity which has the power to put teachers on payroll or remove them on payroll.
One teacher, one per person, one per teacher, or one per position, or one per pay. Some people at the department, in the TSC by taking lead, one level all the province not taking audit.
Meanwhile, Jiwaka Governor Dr. William Tongam says the provincial government will continue to build more schools to accommodate the growing population. He emphasized on providing quality education and increasing the literacy rate of the province.
You know, like plan something as well. You mean what? Secondary schools, high schools, enough for producing or monkey blowing enough local or less colleges. So I'm not telling you a story from Ibla. Now you know that 7 plus secondary schools. You know that about 22, 23 high schools in the province. And now 8 years and employees will not go.
Teachers in Jiwaka province who have been put off payroll or who are not on payroll will be identified and be put back on payroll. Vasinata Yama, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
The Independent Consumer and Competition Commission, or ICCC, has declined the proposed acquisition by Kina Securities Limited of 89.91 shares in Westpac Bank. ICCC Commissioner Paulus Ein said after careful consideration, ICCC is not satisfied the two banks will not operate separately as proposed because of common ownership.
On March 22nd, ICCC registered KSL's application of a proposed acquisition of 89.91 shares from the Westpac Bank. After a public consultation process, ICCC denied the acquisition based on 9 areas. This included the concern of increase in prices and profit margins, and the acquisition would mean no growth in the commercial banking markets, given the number of commercial banks decreasing in recent years.
The ICCC now has made a final determination to decline the authorization sought by Kina Bank.
Currently, Papua New Guinea has 3 major banks operating with other smaller financial institutions. Just a few years ago, Kina Securities Limited, trading as Kina Bank, bought off and rebranded the ANZ Bank. And now, with the proposal to purchase shares in Westpac, ICCC has concluded that in terms of public benefits and detriment assessment, the proposed acquisition will lessen competition.
Whilst these are competition effects that we've based on our findings, we also of the view that some of the competition benefits that have been proposed by Kina, we are of the view that it will also not benefit the consumers. One is to reduce the number of retail banking in our current sector by reducing to only 2 retail banking will be a detriment to our consumers, especially in terms of loan interest, other interest and rates that are applicable by the proposed arrangement. We don't think that it will benefit the consumers.
Further comments were made on the possibility of higher loan interest rates, and despite the innovation of technology, ICCC says there will likely be the absence of through competition. Thekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
And now looking at the NAS fund market report, the Kina opened unchanged at $0.2850 in the interbank market this morning. At Bank South Pacific, your Kina will buy $0.2775 $0.3765 Australian dollars, $0.3885 New Zealand dollars, and 29.82 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold is trading lower, coffee and copper closed higher, and cocoa closed lower. Crude oil is trading lower, palm oil closed lower, and copper closed higher. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, the ASX 200 is trading higher, and the All Ordinaries is trading higher. Chukai Sports is next. All the details after the break.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome to Chukai Sports. The 2021 Soldiers' Wives Sporting Tournament has united spouses of military personnel again. Taking part in basketball and volleyball games, the mothers represented all 7 PNGDF units based in Port Moresby, including Goldie Barracks.
It may not be as tough as the PNGDF Commanders Cup hosted in 2019, but the show is as colorful, with wives of military personnel coming together to observe the 8th Soldiers' Wife Tournament.
I'm Margaret Barre. I'm the Games Coordinator for Force Support Battalion. We are the hosting unit for the Military Wives 8th Annual Sports Tournament. Me play having this like game since me start 2012, initiated by some of our good sisters of military wives of our Port Moresby-based units.
Hosted by the 4th Support Battalion, it is in conjunction with the nation's 46th independence anniversary. Playing for the top prize, the wives represent PNGDF Headquarters, 1st Royal Pacific Islands Regiment, Tarama, the Air Transport Wing, Maritime Element, Basilics, Goldie, LRRU, and the hosting team, Force Support Battalion.
Units of Port Moresby-based units, me can talk about them big Lahama Mastret, because me looking at them, our theme for these military wives is about unity, force unity, to empower women to know their true identity in sports. And so me service them inside Lolgada unit and planti mama blom blom Hama Mastret lo come together, because these games is all about getting to know each other as military wives, to empower us. Now we don't can stop us all house, but we have to socialize in everything that we do. And one of our 3 events, like the convention that we had a few months ago, and this is our sports tournament.
More than 15 teams consisting of close to 300 players are taking part in this tournament in 2 separate pools. Each unit has 2 teams, and the mothers are grateful for the support through various sponsors.
BSP Life. Those are our major sponsors, apart from our other little sponsors like Telecom, TODist, and our unit, our 4th Support Battalion, who have really made it possible for us to have this tournament, a very successful one this year.
On the scoreboard, there is a stiff tally, but as expressed by the mothers, the best team will take home the top prize, but the rest of the teams will hold on to uniting moments.
Tomorrow is a very big day, of course. That would be the 3rd day of our tournament, where all the finals will be carried out and the presentation of all the awards to close up the event as the closing ceremony.
Thekla Gunga, National EMTV Sports.
6 platoons undergoing the PNGDF recruitment training in Goldie have celebrated PNG's 46th independence with sporting activities. Kicking off with basketball and rugby, these games are part of upcoming competitions like military drills, cross-country and weapon relay. The games, organized by Lieutenant Derek Cow, will see the introduction of soccer and volleyball games starting next week. Apart from the 6 recruit platoons, officers and NCOs also took part to observe the Independence Day celebrations. And that ends Trukai Sports, where the details coming up next.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
I'll look at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region. Mostly fine and windy in Port Moresby and Daru, and partly cloudy with chances of a shower or 2 in Kerma and Alatau, and a few evening showers easing to partly cloudy weather in Popondita.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And that's been the news, sport and weather for today, Friday, 17th of September 2021. Until next time, pleasant viewing, have a safe weekend and good night.